Hey, welcome to the first episode of the Where is Franklin podcast. I am Carrington Pritchett, and I'm so glad you all are here with us today or tonight or whenever you are viewing this this podcast. I am so honored to be with my mom, who will be hosting this podcast and is going to give us a little synopsis and where's Franklin, the meaning behind where's Franklin, to give us a deep dive into stories and mysteries, into all the wonderful, intriguing moments of what Franklin entails and what that means. So buckle up and let's explore together. Mom, can you give us a little information and a backstory of this wonderful title?
Well, thank you, Carrington. It's such a privilege to be here on your show, and I'm just going to get into um, what that title really means. I'm going to try to anyway. Um, Again, I'm Yolanda Pritchett. Um, a couple of months ago, I thought about writing a book and um, launching a podcast titled "Where's Franklin?" And so, a little back history of where this title derives from. I come from a large family. I am the baby of 11 children. And so we have a brother. His name is Franklin. Little history on Franklin. Franklin was this, I just remember being this little girl, teenager, who was so excited. I felt honored just being his little sister because he was so well known in the city. He was so handsome. He was a ladies' man, very articulate, very smart. Um, Loved basketball, and he was just the ideal brother. And so he went off to college, and when he returned home, I remember our mother saying, Franklin hasn't been the same. And from that day, and that was over 40 plus years ago, from that day to this day, Franklin has not been the same. So, being that we come from a large family, we didn't know anything about mental illness. We didn't know anything about schizophrenia. We didn't know anything about it. And so, my mother, we were very deeply religious, so we didn't really talk about those things. And again, you have to remember, I was a little girl then, so this is just things that I vaguely remember, and things as I grew up older was told to me. But again, I do remember my brother Franklin being everything and more that of what I explained to you. So anyway, with that, my mother, who was a very wise woman, knew that okay, I can pray for my son, but he needs more than prayer. We need to get him to the proper people that know about this, whatever that's going on with him. We don't know anything about it. So she, along with one of my sisters, Phyllis, they got him in to see a doctor, and that's where he was diagnosed, or when he was diagnosed with being or having schizophrenia. All right, again, that's been over 40 plus years ago. Franklin, we would get him on the medication. He would do well for a while. Then he would, didn't want to take the medication. So his mental illness progressed, until now it's just completely out of control. I don't know what else we can do for him as a family. Our parents are no longer here. And so it has been a challenge for us. It has been a struggle. struggle for us. It's been very, very, very sad because, our brother, love him, and we have. So anyway, fast forward, again, it came to me, why don't you write a book about Franklin? Not so much about Franklin, but about mental illness. Why don't you write a book and title it Where's Franklin? All right. So I thought, man, that is a very, very good title to a book, because let me back up a little bit. Franklin's diagnosis, or his behaviors, became so to where he was not the Franklin that I knew, and he has not been the Franklin that I knew. He is not the Franklin. Now, is he still intelligent? Is he still up on everything? Does he know every family member? Yes, he does. Even now, there's nothing that we can't really get over on him, because he's still so very, very intelligent. But again, very, very bad mental illness, schizophrenic, stays out on the street. And, we don't like that. We've tried to get him help, tried to get him housing, but, you can't really do anything with people or family members who are like this. So anyway, Where's Franklin is more than just about where's Franklin. You know how you can ask, well, where's this person? Or and you usually will get an answer. Oh, well, they're down the street, or they moved away, or what have you. But this question is not just about my brother Franklin. It's about so many others. I was doing some research on mental illness. According to American mental health awareness, in the year of 23, there were over 40% of Americans who deal with mental illness. Now, that was 2 years ago. So you can imagine how that number has changed. All right. So again, Where's Franklin is not just asking a question, where's Franklin? And I'm looking for an answer. No, I'm looking for where's Franklin? Where's my brother? How did this happen to him? Where did this come from? So this is a podcast that I am launching tonight. Where's Franklin? And I have several people. I have several therapists who has agreed to come on the show. And we just want to talk about, mental illness, mental awareness, mental health. I can even throw some things in there with my own mental health. Sometimes you get diagnosed with different things, and if God doesn't help you, it can be very overwhelming. So when I was diagnosed about a year ago with cancer, stage 4 cancer, I knew that I needed to talk to someone. And so the foundation that I am with, they have a therapist on site. So I was able to go in and talk with this therapist. And it has, it does help just to have someone that you can talk to. And so anyway, again, that's my goal for this podcast. Again, it's entitled Where's Franklin? And I will have a book sometime later on in the year that will kind of, go along with this podcast. Where's Franklin? Again, millions of Americans, these are just Americans, struggle with our mental health. There's something that has to be done about this. What can be done? What more can we do to help those who are struggling, and to just be more aware? And again, I said before, we had a very wise mother. She knew that when Franklin came home from college, he was not the same Franklin that went off to college. She knew that something had happened to him. And so anyway, I'm just excited. I'm excited about the podcast. So I hope that you will join me. I will be on YouTube. Um, and hey, again, let's start the conversation. I'm excited about it. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll get Franklin, he can share his own story. We'll get Franklin on the podcast, and he can, share some of the things that he has gone through. Some of the I can just remember. Excuse me. Yeah, there he is. Thank you, Carrington. That's my brother Franklin, walking me down the aisle to my wedding. And again, I was just proud to be on his arm. Such a handsome man, such a smart man. I was just proud, just, excuse me, just very, very proud of him. And he lived such a good life. And so it's very hurtful for us, and you who are out there, who have family members who suffers with mental illness. You're not alone. I know the pain you feel. I know the embarrassment you feel. And it is a struggle because you want to get help. You want to see your family member survive this. You want to see them come through. And Franklin is in his 70s. So I'm not going to give up on him. I'm going to continue to pray for him. And I know we're going to do what we can as a family. But sometime when they're so far gone, it's really nothing that you can do. And so again, thank you, Carrington. All right. I wish we had questions tonight. I would try to ask or answer a few of your questions. If you have any comment or concern, please let me know. It looks like is someone asking a question, Carrington? All right. Well, if not, we'll just we'll put a pin here, and we'll come back. It is my goal to upload videos every week. Yes, there he is. Now, this is where when he returned home from college, and my mother could see there was something going on. She could look at him, his eyes, and it just wasn't Franklin. Now, he any other time, he would have been smiling, has the most beautiful teeth. He had the most beautiful teeth, most beautiful, vibrant smile. But as you can see here on this picture, he looks like something is going on. And it was not drug related. And let me tell you, it is not. It was a lot of people who suffer with mental illness. It has nothing to do with drugs. Nothing to do with drugs at all. Thank you, Carrington. Where are you pulling up these pictures from? Well, thank you. You can catch me on YouTube at Yolanda Pritchett. I am just simply Yolanda Pritchett. Where's Franklin? That's my question. That's my podcast. Where's Franklin? All right. So you all have a wonderful night, and I pray you have a very prosperous upcoming week. Please, yes, like and subscribe to my channel. That's the only way we're going to get this podcast out there. If you like and subscribe, if you share, if you comment, if you care, please like and subscribe. We want to go big with this. We want to go really, really big with this. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you all for who's on tonight. I appreciate you. So if you would just like, comment, and subscribe, there we go. All right. You all have a wonderful night.